seeing here is we have two cases. We have one case in court, which is about a fight between two individuals, and we have one case outside of court, which is a fight between law enforcement and the perception of aggrieved groups that are demanding justice. And that's the thing that gets, when those things get tangled up, we have a problem. There was a story about how the police officer was told he had to arrest Zimmerman. So they needed to arrest to put off the unrest. And that's something that's a bit ominous. If you don't do what a group says, there will be hell to pay. But having said that, I got to make a recommendation. Juan Williams wrote an amazing piece today in which he kind of nails this whole thing. There are two things going on right now. It's a guy who wanted to be a police officer who probably did something he shouldn't have done. And then there are people outside of the case who are doing things that they shouldn't do, which is ginning up racial outrage. So there are two sides to this thing that when they come together create kind of an ugly mess.
You know, there is a time now, it seems to me, for these civil rights leaders and for the President of the United States, because there will be a jury, a decision, I assume, next week. Somebody ought to stand up and say this is not about black and white. Because
but is that fair, though, Bob? I mean, isn't that in itself, if they start doing that, isn't that racist in itself? I mean, do we really have – you know, there was Noah Rothman on Media wrote a piece, and I think it was excellent. By the way, Juan's is a great piece, too. Rothman points out, though, doesn't the black community expect more respect than to have to be told not to riot after a verdict that they might not like?
I think that you're underestimating the symbolism of this and how it can be symbolized by black leaders. And I think that, look, I bought into it when it started. I've listened to it. I now come down on the facts of the case, of the fight that Greg was talking about. I don't think this was racially motivated. And I do think people who have a responsibility to try to put the lid on that if they